The deepest truths aren't always said out loud, they're felt. Have you ever wondered why a man can hear "I love you" 100 times and still grow distant? It's because those words, as powerful as they sound, aren't always the flame. Sometimes they're just the spark. And right now, what we're about to dive into, that's the wildfire. Before we go any further, hit that like button and subscribe. Not for me, but because I'm giving this my all. I'm not reading off a screen. I'm speaking from the part of me that knows how deep this goes. Deeper than logic, beyond just advice. This is for that part of you that's tired of overthinking, tired of wondering what he's thinking, and ready, truly ready, to be seen while becoming unforgettable in his eyes. That's what we're creating here, and I need your heart in this with me. So imagine this. You walk into a room. You're wearing the same outfit, same smile, but there's a shift in how you carry yourself. You're not looking around for his attention. You're already holding the room. You sit next to him, not like you're hoping he'll notice, but like he won't be able to stop feeling your presence if he doesn't. That's not by chance. That's energy. Because true attraction, it isn't about who turns the most heads. It's about who touches the soul. And that doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from being someone he can't stop thinking about. Somewhere along the way, you were sold a soft lie. That men want to hear words. That saying "I love you" enough times would wrap him in loyalty and lock the door shut, like some emotional alarm. But let me be clear, men don't stay where they're told to. They stay where they feel something. Where it's electric, where it's raw and grounded, where it's real. Because men, they don't just hear you, they feel you. They remember the way your fingers grazed his arm like it meant something, the way you laughed like nothing else in the world mattered, the way you turned and walked away, not out of anger, but out of quiet certainty in your worth. That kind of woman doesn't beg to be remembered. She already is. And don't confuse this with putting on a performance. This isn't about impressing him. It's about revealing the version of you that moves with emotional clarity. The woman who knows silence sometimes speaks louder than "I love you." The woman whose presence alone says more than words ever could. This isn't a list of tips. This is a reckoning. 12 ways to make a man feel loved. Not with empty words, but with an energy that makes him ache in the best way, so deeply, so fully that the phrase "I love you" becomes a faint echo compared to how your presence lives in him. This is for the women who know they're already enough, but want to become impossible to forget. We're going to break every old rule that told you to shrink, every outdated whisper that said, "Don't be too much." Because being too much, when it's built from truth, that's what becomes addictive. You're not here to be proper, you're here to be unforgettable. So take this in. Every word, every line. This isn't fluff. This is the work that changes everything. Relationship wisdom wrapped in fire. When you finish watching this, I don't want you to just understand what makes you powerful. I want you to live it. If you're with me, say this out loud. Write it in the comments. Let it echo inside you. I am the gravity. That's right. Not the magnet, not the bait, gravity. Now stay close. We're about to light this up. Picture this. You're at dinner with him. That cozy place you both like. Dim lighting, soft music, the kind of spot where even the silverware feels like part of a love story. He's sitting across from you. His hair a little messy from the day, wearing that shirt that always gets your heart beating. He starts telling you a story, something that clearly matters to him. Your phone buzzes. You glance down. Just a second. It's a message. Nothing important. You look back up. He's still talking. But something changed. His tone's still kind, but the warmth in his eyes, it dipped. And in your chest, you feel it. You just slipped out of the moment. I get it. Life is non-stop. Work, friends, notifications, 1,000 things pulling at your mind. You didn't mean to disconnect. You weren't ignoring him because you don't care. You were just distracted. But in that instant, something unspoken happened. He felt it. He might not say it, but he felt like he wasn't really being seen. That's what nobody tells you. Men won't always ask you to stay fully present. They won't plead. They'll just begin to show you less and less of the tender pieces they once offered. Because love, it's not built on big romantic speeches. It's formed in the small, quiet moments. And real attention, that's love in motion. It's not about gazing at him like he's performing for you. It's about making him feel like he's the only one who matters, even in a room full of people. Maybe you're thinking, what if he doesn't notice when I'm present? What if I give him my full attention and he's still lost in his phone? Listen closely. When a woman leads with presence, she shifts the atmosphere. She becomes the moment. You don't have to chase his attention. You become the force that draws it. Because presence, it's not just something you offer, it becomes part of who you are. And that kind of presence, it's magnetic, not loud, not flashy, just deeply, unshakably real. Let me tell you something that stays with a man. He might not remember the text you sent that said, "I love you," but he'll never forget the way you looked at him like nothing else mattered. That's what lingers. So when you sit beside him, don't bring your to-do list with you. Don't half scroll your feed while he speaks. Show up fully with a calm steadiness that says, "I'm here now, and I'm not somewhere else in my mind." That's rare, and it's unforgettable. Sit with him like your soul is listening. In a world where everyone's distracted, a woman who is fully present becomes the exception. The kind of presence that makes a man want to stay, want to open up, want to show more. And when we talk about touch next, this isn't just physical. It's a language, a promise, a memory. So before we move forward, type it below, say it loud, "I am the presence." Now imagine this. He walks through the door after a long, draining day, shoulders heavy, eyes tired, carrying the invisible weight men often don't speak about. You step forward, smile, and wrap your arms around him. Not a quick hug, not a distracted one while your brain is racing, a real embrace, full arms, full heart, 7 seconds where you breathe in sync. And in that silence, something shifts. His body lets go, his chest loosens, and without a single word, he feels everything you meant. I'm here, you matter, we're still us. Touch isn't just about bodies, it's about memory. Men won't always say what they need, but their hearts notice. Their nervous system remembers the quiet power of your hands, the warmth in your chest pressed to his. And real touch, the kind that's slow, still, and intentional, that tells him something deeper than words ever will. I still choose you. You've felt it too, haven't you? A rushed kiss feels like checking a box. But a slow touch, the kind that lingers, that changes something inside him. It stays. It speaks without words. It sings without sound. Touch that's rushed is noise. Touch that's present, that's music. So next time, don't just brush past him. Wrap him in something he can't explain but can always feel you mean it. Let him melt into you. That's when his shoulders finally ease, his heart unfolds, and his connection to you deepens. Not just from desire, but from a sense of home. Hold him like you believe in him. Like you want to be right there. Like there's nowhere else you'd rather be, because that kind of touch doesn't pass. It stays. The way into a man's heart isn't only through his stomach. It's through the care behind what's on the plate. So picture this. It's late, nothing fancy, just a regular Tuesday night. You're both exhausted and the world outside your doors hasn't exactly been kind. But he walks into the kitchen and finds you standing there, cooking his favorite meal. Not the easiest option, not the quickest, but the one that brings him back to warmth, to comfort, to feeling known. And he may not say anything, but you can see it in the way he exhales. Because for men, food isn't just food. It's memory. It's love. It's proof that someone noticed. Even the little things. It's you showing care when no one else is watching. You didn't have to ask him what he wanted. You already remembered. And in a world that keeps telling men to be stoic and self-reliant, a small gesture like that can mean absolutely everything. Now you might be thinking, I'm not here to play house or serve anyone, and that makes perfect sense. This isn't about roles. It's not about being domestic. It's about emotional depth. It's about knowing that the smallest things often leave the deepest imprint. Because what you're truly saying is, I notice what brings you joy, and I take pleasure in bringing you back to life when the world tries to wear you down. That's not submission. That's connection. Even if it's just warming up leftovers with care, or baking something that fills the house with sweetness and old memories, even if it turns out a little burnt, even if flowers all over the place, it's never about perfection. He's not judging the food, he's feeling the love behind it. Because when a man steps into a space that smells like something made just for him, it's not just his appetite that wakes up, it's his heart. And that feeling stays long after the meal's over. To cook for him, not to impress, not to perform, but to show love. Because what's coming next, it's not about food. It's about the mirror, the version of you he can't stop staring at, especially when you're not trying so hard to get his attention. It's not about showing off. It's about reminding yourself you're the flame. And he's lucky to feel the warmth. So picture this. It's been a long week. You've been living in leggings, messy bun, oversized hoodie, because real life is real. But tonight, you decide to do something different. You slip into that dress he loves, the one that hugs your body just right. You walk into the room, and in that moment, he forgets whatever had his focus. He looks at you like he's seeing you all over again. And no, it's not about the dress. It's about the intention behind it. Because when you wear something that says, I still want to turn you on, even after everything life throws at us, it speaks volumes, even without saying a word. Now, you might be asking, do I need to dress up just to keep him interested? No. You dress up because you're interested in yourself. Because when you feel sexy, alive, powerful, you don't just catch his attention. You catch your own. You look in the mirror and think, she still got it. Men may be visual, sure, but more than that, they respond to the energy a woman carries when she knows her own fire, when she walks like she remembers who she is. So don't dress up for him. Do it for the woman inside you who refuses to forget her glow. Every stretch, every step, every deep breath says, I'm showing up for this love. That's not small. That's sacred. Imagine this. You're tying your sneakers. Not because you're chasing a number on a scale, not because summer's around the corner, but because you want to live longer next to the one you love. You breathe deep, you move your body, and it's not vanity, it's a promise. Quiet and clear. You're saying, I plan to be here, not just now, but later, for the years ahead, for all the memories we haven't even made yet. That green smoothie in your hand, it's not punishment, it's care for both of you. Because here's what matters. Your health isn't just for you. It becomes his peace, his comfort. When he sees you nurturing yourself, calming your stress, treating your body like something sacred, he sees a future. A woman who shows her love, not just with words, but with action, with effort, with consistency. A woman who doesn't just say, I love you, but says, I'm planning to stay. Now, maybe your mind jumps in. What if he doesn't even notice? What if he's not doing the same? Let me say this. Your care isn't wasted just because it's quiet. Your consistency speaks even when no one says thank you. Self-care isn't selfish. It's shared care. And when you protect your energy, you're also protecting the life you're building together. What's next isn't about how strong your muscles are. It's about a different kind of strength, the kind that shows up in your words, in the way you lift him with just one sentence. Inside every man is a boy still wondering, am I enough? You answer that question not by fixing him, but by noticing him. Picture this. He's in the kitchen, opening a jar, taking out the trash, putting away groceries, not asking for applause, just doing what needs doing. And you look at him and say, with real warmth, I love how you take care of things without me needing to ask. He doesn't say much, but inside something sits taller, because even strong men carry quiet questions. Am I doing okay? Does she notice? Does who I am matter to her? Want to know what softens a man more than flattery? It's recognition. It's being seen. It's when you mention the little things, the way he always locks up before bed, the way he calmly fixes what's broken, the way he listens when you need to vent without trying to fix it. That's where connection lives, not in grand gestures, but in subtle moments of being truly seen. And maybe he's not always great with words. Maybe he forgets to reflect the same energy. But when you choose to witness instead of just expect, you lift him. And a man who feels lifted by his woman, he doesn't just stay, he rises. So speak into his strength, not to build his ego, but to nourish his spirit. Now imagine this. He's on the couch, headphones in, lost in some video game or a deep dive documentary about engines or outer space or something totally random to you. You walk by, glance over, and instead of sighing or asking when he'll be done, you say, enjoy, babe. I'll see you after. No guilt, no tension, just peace. And he looks up, not annoyed, but like he's just realized something. Being with you feels safe because you don't need to cling to him to feel loved. A man who's trusted with space comes back with more to give. You want to be unforgettable? Be the woman who doesn't fall apart when he takes time for himself. Be the woman who knows that love isn't about being glued together. It's about being present even when you're apart. He doesn't need you every minute. What he needs is to feel secure enough to breathe, knowing you're not falling apart when he steps away. Let me put it like this. A woman who lets a man miss her is a woman who becomes his deepest ache in the best way. So when he says he's spending time with friends or needs a solo drive or just zones out for a while, don't make it about you. Don't assume the worst. Let it be what it is. Him being human, him refueling. You don't lose him by giving him room. You keep him by letting him breathe and watching how fully he comes back for yours. Now let's talk about something no one teaches us, intimacy that doesn't rush. When it comes to physical connection, we live in a world that glorifies speed. Quick kisses, quick texts, quick fixes. But you and I both know what truly stays with a man isn't the quickie. It's the slow burn. So imagine this. He's had a long day, your bodies find each other, and instead of diving right in, you slow it down. You let your hands linger, you explore without a goal. You move like you're memorizing him again, like you're reminding him he's not just wanted, he's cherished. And something sacred happens in that stillness. He starts to feel not just aroused, but seen, adored, safe. Because desire isn't always about urgency. Sometimes it's about surrender. Sometimes it's not how fast you touch him, but how deep. And when you stop seeing touch as something that leads somewhere and instead treat it as the moment itself, that's when his walls fall. That's when he stops thinking and starts feeling. Let him feel your breath. Let him feel your presence. Let the silence between kisses say more than words ever could. It's in that softness that the deepest connection forms. Not just skin to skin, but soul to soul. When you give him that kind of energy, you're not just loving his body, you're loving his heart. You're saying, you're safe with me. You're wanted, not for what you give, but for who you are. Maybe you're wondering, what if he doesn't slow down with me? What if he's always rushing? That's okay. You get to be the pause. You get to guide the rhythm. Because when a woman brings stillness into intimacy, she changes everything. You remind him that he's not just a body, he's a heartbeat. Now, here's a truth you might not expect. He remembers how you made him feel more than what you did. He remembers how your hands told him he was enough, how your kiss didn't ask for anything, how your breath aligned with his, creating a moment that felt like forever. So take your time. Be the fire that doesn't burn out. Let your intimacy with him be less about fireworks and more about warmth that keeps glowing long after. That's what leaves a mark. That's what makes him come back, not just to your body, but to your soul. And maybe by now you're seeing the theme here. This isn't about doing more, it's about being more intentional. It's not about proving your worth, it's about knowing your value and letting him feel it through every word, every touch, every glance. Because real love isn't loud, it doesn't always need to be declared. Sometimes it's soft, sometimes it's quiet. But it always moves you, it always stays. And that's what makes a woman unforgettable. Not how hard she tries, but how deeply she lives, how much she means what she says, how rooted she is in herself. Because a man can hear, "I love you" from 100 lips and forget them all. But he will never forget the way a woman made him feel like he could breathe for the first time in a long time. He will never forget the woman who looked at him and saw past the mask, who didn't just love his potential, but saw his present, who didn't demand perfection, but gave permission to be real.